Dynamic TPMS Solutions welcomes you to our TPMS training series. This is Module 4 of the series, TPMS Sensor Programmability. As we have pointed out in previous modules, TPMS sensors can be categorized as to how they are constructed and how they are mounted. In this module, we will cover 4 types of sensors as categorized by programmability: the OE-style direct fit type, the programmable type, the multi-application type, and the selectable type. We'll look at the characteristics of each kind. In today's market, these are the 4 sensor types with regard to how they are programmed with a code or protocol that talks to the vehicle's TPMS control unit. Each protocol is unique to a specific make, model, and year of vehicle. Let's begin with the OE direct fit or original equipment type sensor. This type is pre-programmed with one specific protocol that only works with a specific vehicle's TPM system. The advantage of an OE replacement type sensor is it works like the OE factory installed sensor and is simply swapped out. The big disadvantage is the large number of sensor types the installer or parts store needs to stock to cover all the different makes, models, and years of vehicles. The programmable sensor is essentially a blank sensor with no protocol written to the circuit board. To use a programmable sensor, the protocol for a specific vehicle application must be programmed or written to the sensor. This is done using a programming tool, of which there are several types available, as well as an internet connection or specialized software specific to the sensor manufacturer. There are several advantages to programmable sensors. First, there is much less inventory. All of the individual vehicle protocols are stored on a programming tool, pad, or sponsored website, not on the individual sensor. Second, vehicle application coverage is generally very good. And third, vehicle protocols can be added with a simple programming tool update. There are some disadvantages to using programmable sensors. A programming tool is required, and it does take more time to program a sensor. Some programmable sensor suppliers may require the use of their specific programming tool, which limits the user to that supplier's brand of programmable sensors. Another disadvantage can arise with brands that require their sensor be plugged into a specific cradle or pad in order to program the sensor. If this plug-in type of programmable sensor has already been installed in the tire, unlike brands that are wirelessly programmed, it would have to be taken out to be reprogrammed and then reinstalled. The multi-application sensor works very much like the OE type sensor. The difference is there are multiple protocols written on the circuit board as opposed to only one protocol on the OE sensor. Its advantages are the ability to replace a sensor right out of the box like an OE direct fit sensor, and they can be relearned with most TPMS diagnostic tools. The disadvantages of the multi-application sensor is that its vehicle coverage is still not as good as programmable sensors, so they still require many more inventoried part numbers. Also, inventory must be expanded as new vehicles are introduced into the market. The last type of aftermarket sensor is called a selectable or configurable sensor. A selectable sensor is sort of a hybrid between a multi-application sensor and a programmable sensor. Like a multi-application sensor, the selectable sensor has several application protocols pre-programmed on the circuit board, and it requires some finalizing of protocols with a programming tool. The advantages are they require less inventory than OE or multi-application sensors. Programming is significantly faster than a programmable sensor, and protocols can be added with a simple programming tool update. Their only disadvantage is that a programming tool is still required to select the correct protocol and activate the sensor. To review, there are 4 types of sensors when categorized by programmability in the aftermarket. The OE-style direct fit type is convenient to swap out, but require a huge inventory for complete market coverage. The programmable type requires the least inventory, But because it is blank, it must be encoded using a programming tool, Cradle or Pad, and takes the longest to program. The multi-application type comes with multiple protocols on the sensor that work with a select group of vehicles, but they still require a sizable amount of inventory for complete market coverage. And lastly, the selectable type, which also comes with multiple protocols on the sensor, requires a programming tool, and has the fastest programming capability. Thank you for watching Module 4 of the Dynamic TPMS Solutions training series.